Yo, what up? It's your boy with JJ Stone, aka Black Gritty. Bump the intro music, bump the intro monologue, bump the intro playlist, slideshow. I don't have time and or care for it today. Making you wait 30 seconds, you could jump in here and come and talk with me and hang out. I don't care. I really don't. All I care about is the Philadelphia Eagles are world champions again. We got that George W. in a fashion that is unlike any other. I mean, all I heard was the greatest coach, the greatest quarterback, the greatest team, the greatest this, the greatest that. And I know how you feel. I know what you're thinking. Gritty, they're going for a 3-peat. They want to do championships. They beat you in Super Bowl. They have won 2 back-to-back Fugazi Super Bowls. I don't care what anybody says. I hate the 49ers. I don't believe in them. I don't like them. We play the song to make fun of them all the time. But for the Chiefs to win their other 3 Super Bowls and have 0 holding calls, I'm telling you what, it's Fugazi. And to be outplayed twice by Jalen Hurts, I don't want to hear anything. We beat the Chiefs. We saved America. We stopped Thanos. And do you know what you got to do to stop Thanos? You need Iron Man. You need Iron Man to stop Thanos. That's what Jalen Hurts is. Everybody kept trying to say, Jalen Hurts is no. He's Iron Man. He put that gauntlet on, the Saquon. Vic Fangio. When he put the glove on, the stones changed a little bit. And hey, there he is, Fit Daddy. There he is. You know what I mean? Gang Green. Say what's up to the people. Say what's up to the people.
What is up? What's going on? We are Super Bowl champs once again. And I still can't believe it.
You're in shock. And I can't stand you. Because for the last 3 weeks you've been on my show, you've been out here skipping about talking all crazy. You come on today and you just sound like the president. Like, well, sir, we're just out here taking over planets and ruling the world. It's just what we do. No, sir. No, sir, Fit Daddy. We did it. Oh, it was such an impressive beatdown. So where do you want to start? I'll throw it out to you. What do you want to start with? Offense, defense, special teams?
I mean, I was gonna say where do we even start? Because they hit on all 3. I mean, even Jake was on like that. Every single question that we had going into this game, can they do this? Can they do that? Can Jalen Hurts do this? Can Jake kick? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Can this defense keep up with what they've been doing all season long against this Chiefs team? Can they keep up? They made Patrick Mahomes look like I don't even know, but they made him look like Zach Wilson out there.
They made Patrick Mahomes look like Donovan McNabb. He looked like Donovan McNabb, where when the pressure got to him, what did he do? Balls in the dirt.
Yep.
What did he do? He rolled out and he couldn't get the ball delivered on time. Whenever you see
across his body.
Yeah, whenever you saw McNabb go bad, the things people hate about McNabb when he played games like that. When he played games like that, once McNabb got rattled, he could never recompose himself.
Yep.
Again, this is why I'm going to tell you, Jalen Hurts is the greatest quarterback in our league right now. He is the current GOAT. I've watched him have a fumble return for a touchdown, and he goes on to have the best game. I've watched him throw interceptions and draw his team out of the ground and claw back in. Now, he doesn't win every single time, but he never looks like that. I've seen him take sacks. He holds on to the ball too long. He's taking bad sacks. I saw him get a safety, and he still kept himself poised. He still came back and did what the team needed them to do. Patrick Mahomes looked like a guy who had been helped out by the refs for an entire season, winning 1- and 2-point games, and was wondering what in the LL Cool J is going on. And he had no answers. He had no answers. And the reason I say look at McNabb, no, it is a shot to McNabb because McNabb's my favorite. I love McNabb. No shot to McNabb, but that's what Andy Reid looked like when McNabb was losing all the time. You ran the ball 97% of the time. Yep. Andy, you forgot to run the ball. And then you wonder why your quarterback's getting sacked and he's seeing ghosts and he can't get the ball out on time because you didn't run the ball. That's the Andy Reid I know. That's the Andy Reid I remember. No adjustments, Andy Reid. 0 adjustments. Oh, so it's easy having adjustments when the flags are just flying for you.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy. Easy. It's easy when you're down by 1 score and somebody taps him on the head and it goes. I mean, my goodness gracious, when the whole world is watching, you have to play a fair game, Dave. How different does it look? He looked just like the Andy Reid of old with Donovan McNabb, and that's who Patrick Mahomes looked like.
I mean, the speaking to the adjustments, I watched so many videos today of breakdowns and everything else that he's played. The Eagles had their edges so far outside that even the analysts are watching this and going, why would you not call like 75% run plays? If you're gonna let them go and continue to stay that wide, call some run plays. And they're like, I don't understand why he didn't adjust at all coming out of the half. And he typically does. So again, I don't think it really mattered at that point. We had them against the ropes in that first half. And I love that we came out just firing right away. And they did exactly what I thought they were going to do. This is the reason I saw somebody say, why did I see so many fans have so much confidence that this was going to be a blowout? Because that's all I kept seeing all week. And it wasn't like, you know how people are just like, oh, the Eagles are going to blow them out. No, they were confident coming into this thing that we were going to blow this team out. And the only thing I said to somebody was two very simple things. We have a better roster, like way better roster than what the Chiefs have. And the second thing is they're going to do two things. They're going to sell out to stop Saquon, which is exactly what they did. They're going to sell out to stop Carter on the other side. That's exactly what they did. And they're going to forget that there's 22 other guys on that team that can do just as well at receiver, at tight end, and at quarterback. And not only that, Carter was clogging up that middle so much. He was pushing 2 or 3 guys back at a time, straight into Mahomes every single snap. And all he was doing was just tightening up those ends for the guy next to him. Williams was there. He had Nolan Smith coming out on the other side. I mean, I'm surprised this game didn't end in 10 sacks, to be honest.
So first of all, shout out to Steve Fox, day one viewer, always with us on the Facebook. I appreciate you, brother. We are Super Bowl champions. You deserve this. I deserve this. We deserve this. I appreciate you. Nando Knight, always be in these streets in the comments. I appreciate you, brother. Same thing. And I will say one thing about what you just said. They didn't sell out to stop Jalen Carter. That's what I'm saying about non-adjustments. It was 4 on 5. So Jalen's like, I'm going to get doubled regardless. Mm-hmm. So I'll take 2. You guys get 1-on-1s. We'll meet at the summit. And they did it over and over and over again. And Andy Reid didn't throw a chip in there. He didn't keep a back in to Chip Carter. He didn't give any kind of help with Carter. If Carter would have had 3 guys on him, maybe he would have not been able to push the pile back like he was. But it was literally 4 on 5 and Carter taking on 2 men every time. And again, I know when I talk about the refs and the media and people say stupid stuff like, it can't be rigged. You can't, there's so many people across. I'll say, but you can have bias. You can have bias that allows you to get done what you want to get done. And it reaching the fervor where it got to Roger Goodell asked at the podium and the head official having to speak on it meant that the officials had to call it both ways. So for 3 Super Bowls, they had 0 holding calls. I watched the games. I don't like the 49ers, but I'm saying, dude, you're holding. You're holding. And they just get away with it. And you're like, oh, how did Mahomes do it? He had 12 seconds. And then when you go watch Jalen do it, they weren't getting any pressure. No. And every time they did get pressure with the blitz, Jalen Hurts handled the blitz the right way. Even that one throw to AJ where AJ was mad and Jalen was like, dang it. Yeah. Like he was right on it. There was just a miscommunication on stop and go, but he got the ball out. The ball was on rhythm. It didn't work out that time. But he handled the blitz. So
I want to say something about that too, because this is why, and it was right after that play when he threw that touchdown pass to AJ. That to me cemented the reason why I know that these guys they love Sirianni and why Sirianni is a very, very good coach for this team, this roster. He keeps these guys happy, and he doesn't do it in like an overconfident, stupid way. He knows what these guys need. He knows exactly what keeps them happy. And when he called that play with that long pass across the field, or should I say that route that AJ ran all the way across the field, he knew he was going to have 1-on-1, and he knew that he was going to get AJ. He was going to hit him, but that's the reason why Sirianni is a Super Bowl winning coach now, is because he has been saying it all season. We're working through adversity. He's like, we're embracing adversity. And that's all they did all season long, whether it was the drama or the inner excellence on the sideline or whatever it was that they had going on. He was like, I don't care about all that noise. I don't care about all the noise. And he just kept going back to keeping his guys happy. And he let his offensive coordinator do his thing. He let his defensive coordinator do his thing. This team is poised for another Super Bowl run. I'm not even done celebrating this one, and I can see that.
So after this week, after Wednesday, actually, I will officially be bending the knee to Nick Sirianni, and I will no longer say his name. So I got to get out my criticisms before then. My general problem has been with Nick Sirianni is his antics with the fans and the media and the way he speaks. He calmed that down. I've had to shut up about it for the last 12 to 13 weeks. He has adjusted himself. That moment where he yelled at the fans and somebody sat him down like, bro, we don't do that here. You want to yell at opposing teams fans, you want to get feisty, that's cool. But we bleed green here, bro. Like people are upset. You can't do that. And then when he brought the kids to the podium, that was just a bad look in that moment because, with the shaved head, it just all looked crazy. It was all crazy. Yeah. But he turned it around. And I'll say this because, like I said, after this week, I'm going to shut up about it. I can't say anything else about it. So this week for like the 3 shows I'm doing a show again tomorrow. Got the show Wednesday, Chief Seats with E-Rock and Jay. My biggest problem with him in general is that he doesn't have his own offense. And we keep losing offensive coordinators. Vic Fangio, at least he's older, but I don't know if he'll want to stay 2 or 3 years now. Yeah. He's got his Super Bowl. He's an older gentleman. You listen to the way he talks. The time seems like it wears on him. I was not very confident the way he spoke about the time that it takes with his family and his age and stuff. So the fact that Nick doesn't have his own offense hurts me to my core with him being a CEO coach, because the difference between Sean McVay is Sean McVay makes offense. When a guy leaves, it doesn't matter. Now, that's my criticism. Put that aside. Nick Sirianni has galvanized the troops. And I always say it doesn't matter if Jalen doesn't like him per se. You work with people all the time that you don't like. You have family members that you don't like, but you love them and you can get things done together. And when you leave, you're not inviting them over for dinner, but at the family function, it's laugh and joke and, hey, let's do the thing and talk to grandma and tell the stories. And it's fine. I feel like that's the relationship they have. I feel like that relationship actually kind of works for them because Jalen is so Brady-esque, Belichick-esque, onto Cincinnati, says his quotes and his poems, and he just doesn't have time for games and shenanigans. And that wears on teammates, that wears on players, as to where Nick's like, hey, bro, let's have a beer. Let's talk it out. I know I chewed you out, but let's bro it up. You want to go shoot some hoops? Like, you got something going on in the family? Like, you want to talk to me, dog? Like, I'm part therapist, part coach. So I feel like that part of Nick Sirianni has proven itself to matter the most. I can't deny when I watch CJGJ, who is an absolute animal. And most animals are the quiet beasts. You know what I mean? Like most animals are the quiet beasts. When you watch Chris Jones cry in the beginning of every game and he cries in the middle of games, he is a lion. And it means something to him. It's like when Tyson used to like cry, like, yo, he is a killer and he's holding back murder every day. Every snap. Jalen Carter holding back murder every snap, every day. And when CJGJ was crying in the championship game, like a blother, he was crying so bad. He has such ugly face. I didn't even know it was him until I saw the back of his jersey. I was like, what woman is out here in an Eagles jersey crying like this? He was blubbering like a baby because Nick cares. He cares about Nick, and when he saw his coach and he knew where they were going, what they were doing, and what they've been fighting through, my goodness, I can't deny you, Nick Sirianni, of that. I will be bending the knee. E-Rock out here clowning me on the internet, talking about, where's Black Gritty at? He ain't out here with the sign. I thought I was supposed to make a beautiful sign, not no crayon sign overnight, because I ain't slept with Daddy. You know what I mean? I ain't.
Oh, I know you didn't.
So I was like, I'm thinking I got to make a big sign. I'm probably going to do a cardboard cutout. Like Nick standing there with me. I'm gonna do the whole shebang, brother. Like, I owe that man. You know what I'm saying? So, but E-Rock out here calling me on the internet talking about where's Black Gritty at? You know what I mean? I think he might call me Black Gritty. I don't know. It felt real slighted. You know what I mean? I felt real bad. I'm usually one mess with people, but he got me on that. But Nick Sirianni deserves, as you said, a lion's share of credit and respect, and he deserves it. A quick thing: when I first had Doug, I called him Clipboard Doug. He never called plays. I don't care what they say. His high school Harry coach didn't like him. Then he got in. The team started winning some games. I realized that him and Reich had balls. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went from Doug negative. I'm Doug neutral. You know what I mean? He's cool. He's cool. He won the Super Bowl. He's Doug positive. I don't care what he does. I don't care where he gets fired from. He eats ice cream every day. If I see him, I will rob somebody to buy his steak if I ain't got the money. He will never have. If I ever see him in life, he ain't got to worry about nothing around me. I am Doug positive, and going forward, Nick Sirianni from my end will be referred to as my coach. That is what I will say when I refer to him as my coach. I will not say his name anymore. I've disrespected that man, and he deserves that respect from me. I'm also going to delete my Twitter handle, my secret Nick Sirianni Twitter handle that I've been out here masquerading in these streets. Hey, look, at least I'm admitting it. I'm a man of my word. I gotta let it go, brother. I gotta let it go. So, let's talk about the Eagles defense, not just the line. When you only have 4 rushing, what was the rest of the defense doing?
Their job,
floating around, right?
Yep.
Hun, go ahead and tell me how you felt when you saw Cooper DeJean is not a safety. He's just a DB that'll lock down your number one. Tell me how you felt when you saw that in the game. When that happened in the game, how are you feeling?
So I just rewatched the game again, and I actually just got done watching about an hour before we got on here. And when that play happened, I almost forgot where it happened in the game, and it was like I was watching it all over again, man. It was the best feeling I think I've ever had watching a game, to watch a guy that's so young, so smart. And I saw the way that they interact with Vic Fangio after the game, and you could tell like that guy is just giving them wisdom. He's giving them everything he has to be able to say, here, I'm here now. I'm not always going to be here. I want you to take this with you. And they have taken such leaps and bounds in this season. And to watch him get that interception, a pick six in the Super Bowl. Come on, man. Like that was everything. I'm not even kidding. Like, I think I was getting emotional at that point. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna cry. The game's like far from over. And I was like, I'm not gonna cry here yet.
So if you have accessibility to it, Dave, go on your Twitter and retweet the live show, because it's live right now, while I tell people how I felt when I watched that happen. Okay.
You go on there and retweet. Patrick Mahomes was talked about being the greatest quarterback ever in a world where I have Joe Montana and Tom Brady. Now, I call Montana my GOAT. He's my GOAT because he didn't get caught cheating 3 or 4 times. But I also have to acquiesce to Bill Belichick and Tom Brady and say that they have their 6 and 7 championships. They went to 10 championships. They have the accolades, and people refer to them as the GOAT. And I kept trying to understand, how can you become the GOAT with a 3-peat and 4 titles? I understand he's done it in the first 7 years, but again, I just don't understand how you give it to him. And I even know that Brady didn't win his first 3 Super Bowls. It was on the defense and Adam Vinatieri's leg. But it doesn't matter. You can't just take away what you've given off of a 3-peat. Yeah. And then I said to myself, okay, so if you're giving all that away for the potential 3-peat, then that means that my defense is now the greatest defense of all time. My offense is now the greatest offense of all time. My quarterback is now greatest quarterback of all time, because, I just like rubbing salt in the wound, because they stopped another dynasty. Mm-hmm.
They stopped another 3-peat from happening. They are the 3-peat killers. And when I saw Cooper DeJean catch that ball, I said, run, white boy, run. I literally screamed at my TV. I said, run, white boy, run. And then when he went to go get the touchdown, I said, oh, my God, he looked like Deion Sanders for 32 seconds to me. I don't know what you saw. That 33 morphed into a 21. He got a 10, and I don't care what happened. He was high stepping and juking. I was like, oh, my neighbor got flavor. And I tell you what, Fit Daddy, I screamed at my television. I was so happy. It was his birthday, and I only gambled on one thing because I got it super early. I took Saquon Barkley MVP because it was like 5x or whatever. It was like one of the things I saw stood out. But when I was looking through the bets, I did see CJ or Cooper to get an interception return touchdown was like plus 20,000. And if I would have just put $1 on it, because I looked right at it, I said, "Ooh, it's his birthday." But I said to myself, I'm not betting on the game, and I usually don't bet on the Super Bowl. is in it because I don't even want to look at nothing else like that. I don't care. I want my team to win, and that's my focus. But man, when he got that touchdown, it was amazing. And again, Dave, you said you don't remember what happened in that. So let me tell you what happened. He gets the interception for return for touchdown. He gets to do his dance. Oh man, it was so lovely. These white boys can dance. Exciting whites, Sarah. These whites are so exciting. Then Patrick Mahomes gets the ball again, and he throws an interception to Zack Baun.
Yes, he does.
Now, he's not an exciting white, but he's a light white. I mean,
he's a light white.
He's a light white. He's light enough. I mean, he flashed so fast. I thought it was Blankenship. Dude, when he dove and took that ball, I said, "Is this your king? Is this your king?" Back-to-back interceptions, rattled beyond belief, scared to death in the pocket. And again, Dave, what I just said, all the things before the caveat, I was told this was the best team. I told this team was going to three-peat. Now, all of a sudden, today, the narrative is, well, the offensive line was makeshift. What do you want them to do?
Yeah.
You have the weapons. What do you want them to do? You are 15-1. I don't want to hear anything, Dave. I don't want to hear anything. Quinyanamo Bay made one hit, one tackle, and he gave up like one catch late. Revis Island is here. I'm sorry.
I mean, on that Zack Baun interception, the reason he threw that interception is because Carter pushed the offensive lineman into his leg, and he caused his body to go like this as he's passing, and he threw it right to Baun. But again, it's because they were wreaking havoc. I know that the DBs and they had plenty of time to adjust, but I was going back and watching some of the plays that they had, and even on that what play was it? It was a play where it was a screen. That's what it was. It was that Josh Sweat sack. Sweat comes around Kelsey. I mean, he went so wide around him. Kelsey didn't even get off the ball in time. Okay. No. Tries to go out into the flat. He's waving his arms. It was too late. Yeah. By the time he got there, Mahomes was already tucking that ball in because he had made the decision. There's no way he was going to get it to him. Sack. But then I went back and watched it again. The layers of defense that they had on that side, if he had actually gotten that ball out to Kelsey, I believe it was Baun that was directly behind him. If he had caught that ball, he would have murdered Kelsey right there on that field. He would have gone because Kelsey's back was to him. So he didn't even know. Baun would have come right up behind him and he would have broke his back like Bane and Batman. It would have been beautiful.
Big play Slay didn't have to show up for work, but he was out there working.
Yeah, he was.
He was out there working. He like white on rice. He was everywhere. They cover their guys. They cover their zones. They handed it off to each other. The communication was excellent. When they tried to use the motion, it was excellent. And it was just like, you do understand that you can see what's going on, right, Patrick? Because again, one of my caveats to why I'm going to say that Jalen Hurts is better than Patrick Mahomes is because Jalen Hurts does what's needed to be done to win. He makes adjustments. He calls audibles. He'll flip the play. He'll check down the guys. Bang, bang. AJ, get that comeback route on me. Bang, bang. It seemed like Patrick Mahomes did no adjustments. He lined up and ran the plays and just said, I'm just going to do what Andy told me to do. I didn't see him call one real
I don't think I saw him call one audible, not one.
I don't think he did. I think he believed, and that's what I'm saying about a system quarterback. When I tell people, I would take if Jalen Hurts was on Andy Reid, he would have the same as he would, because I know one guy can adjust to every system given to him. The other guy's only been successful Andy Reid's system, and when Andy Reid's system fails him, he can't improv or help himself. He couldn't even run in the lanes properly. He was scared to death running around. It's like, when do you ever see Patrick try to run around in circles when he's not trying to pass downfield? He was running around in circles trying to get 5 people to go. He was scared to run down the middle.
Yep.
He was scared to run down the field. He didn't want to get hit.
We're just talking about the defense. How happy were you when you saw from the jump how uncomfortable Mahomes was in that pocket? Have you ever seen him that uncomfortable in his own pocket ever?
Oh yeah,
I don't think
when
I don't think I've ever seen it.
When they played Tampa Bay was jailbreak on him, but he also was down 2 linemen. They had 2 backup linemen, but it was jailbreak in that game too. But I'll say this: even in that game, he didn't look scared like he did last night. He looked angry when he was playing Tampa Bay, and like, oh dang it, they're getting me. Yeah. Last night he looked scared. So I feel what you're saying, and I'll give you that caveat. But those are the 2 games where I could just distinctly remember, like, he had no time. There's nothing to do, and it was just shut down. Let me pause you for 1 second. Fred, don't be coming into my show 20 minutes late. You done miss me and my acquiescence to Nick Sirianni. Okay, I've already did it. You can watch the show later. You can rewind it and play itself to sleep tonight and enjoy the pain and sorrow of my voice. I got to do it again tomorrow. I got to do it again Wednesday, and then I gotta get me a sign and a cutout board of me and Nick Sirianni for opening day training camp next year. And I got to go stand outside. Okay, so shut up, Fred. I've already done it. Don't you come in my show late in my comments. Have I talked about your coach yet?
They keep receipts. They keep receipts.
I keep my own receipts. That's right. You better. You go rewatch it. Give me some views up there. You know what I mean? Rack up them views. I'm tired of them. Tired of you, Fred. Fred was he's one of those guys that are always in my comments every time we get a win. He's like, what about the coach? I was like, I don't talk about the coach. I said, I used to rip him, but then after, you know what I mean, Cleveland and a couple other games, I toned it down once he, you know what I mean, he fixed himself. Brittany, that was the last thing I kind of said bad about him. They're Fred every week. You go see something nice about Nick? No, I'm not. I'm not, Fred.
Now he has to, Fred. Okay, he has to, Fred.
Yes. All right, Fred, just get on me. Trying to make me feel this is my show. This is my show. I ain't gonna be bullied in my show. I am not Spike Eskin. Spike Eskin got rocked by Ike today.
Yeah, he did.
Got rocked by. And again, Ike and Jack just sit there when he yells at people on the radio, and they don't get involved. Spike has no tone or feel. You got a grown man sitting right in your face like, hey, stop getting emotional. I'm talking to you. You're yelling at me. No, you're yelling at me. It was so good. So good. But anywho, the defense was amazing. Big play Slay was amazing. Quinyanamo, CJ, he let up that touchdown.
Yeah, you know what? How about Avonte Maddox coming in with his 1 snap?
You see, you jumped my gun on my anticipation.
Oh, my bad.
I was setting it all up. I was going through the whole list. And you know exactly.
Pretend I didn't say it.
You think you're in the future too? You trying to run my show? You know what I mean? I told you I was going to hire you on here. I don't pay my podcast employees, brother. You just out here working for freezies till we get this money. You know what I'm saying? I am the Black McAfee, but we broke right now. You know what I mean? We trying to build that. Anyway, I was going to say to you, I was going through the list of all the players, and I was going to say, who had the one shining moment when he tried to pick on somebody? The one time he wasn't afraid, the one time he stood tall in that pocket and he delivered that ball. Who stood out and did it? Dave.
Avonte Maddox. Man popped out of there like a jack in the box.
It was, so again, I say things like, because it is real to me. Like when I watch things, like my imagination is vivid. Like I said, when I saw Coop get that interception, I felt like Deion caught it and was running to the end zone. I felt like that. When Maddox did it, I said to myself, I was like, is that Asante Samuel? Who is that man?
Mm-hmm.
Who? Because you remember when he used to just always just pop out. That was his big thing. He would just knock the ball down, you know what I mean? Or he'd get the interception, but like he flashed out of nowhere and just didn't try to catch it, didn't try to do anything flashy, didn't go after the receiver. He saw ball, got to ball, knocked ball down. Amazing.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I mean, and it was, so there was 2 moments in the game that were kind of scary. That was one, because if he had missed that, there was at least 30 yards of field in front of him. There was nobody back there. And then that one where, I guess not to get ahead of myself, but there was that one where Hopkins was wide open down the field also. And that was kind of the moment to me where I'm like, okay, we're doing everything right. And Mahomes seems to be, even when he gets certain things right, his players look like they've never played football before. I mean, I looked at the other side of that, the flip side of that play, and DeAndre Hopkins looked like he had never catched a football in his life. I don't know what he was doing on that play, but that was kind of the moment to me where it was like the second cementing of this game where I was like, yo, this is done. They're done. I don't care if they come back and they get 33 points by the end of the game in some garbage time or whatever it is. This game is done. We're not, everyone was talking about the the Patriots game when they came back against the Falcons. And I was like, the difference is we aren't the Falcons. Yeah, Mahomes definitely has the ability to come back in the games. Not that much. That man barely was putting up. I think he was averaging 18, 19 points during the regular season.
Yeah.
Like bro, you ain't coming back against us. Not with that defense.
And not only you're not the Falcons, I'm sorry, you're not Tom Brady.
No.
I started off by saying they were trying to give this man this stature, this level of ability that he had not earned yet. And I just don't get it. So I'm going to try and play this, see if you can hear the audio, Dave, and tell me if you can hear it.
When there was a lot of touchy calls, are y'all going to report that? Are y'all going to talk about the refs now? You know, I saw a lot of things in the media about the refs, but obviously what y'all going to say now about the refs and us when there was a lot of touchy calls? Are y'all going to report that? Are y'all going to talk about the refs now?
So first of all, they're not going to talk about it, dummy, because you're down 34-0. 34-0. Okay. Second of all, calls went both ways early on where everybody was upset about him.
Yep.
Okay. You dropped the ball. What was the call you needed? You were wide open and you dropped the ball. Travis Kelce, I've been saying it all year long. And again, I love Jason. Jason's overexposed, but I love Jason. And Travis is just the younger punk brother that annoys everybody. He's not stable like his brother. He doesn't want to have a family. He doesn't have kids. He's out here talking about fight for your right to party. He still acts like he's in WWE wrestling. He's rather annoying. But at the same time, once you get $100 million for your podcast to sit in your room and talk to your brother on the internet, a brother who you love, it's really hard to go out there and get hit. When you're doing 20, 30, 40 commercials and you're making another $50, $60 million a year to say, Tide's great. Or go sit in a trailer and do an acting job where you get to say, I was coming home from dinner last night. What are you doing? It makes it really hard to want to get hit. He gave zero effort last night. He looked lethargic throughout the whole game, which he has the whole season. He had one playoff game where he came alive. And last night, he looked like a retired guy that got pulled off the couch to come and help the team. And it was embarrassing for him. He had better retire. Okay.
Yeah.
He had better retire.
I think he's on his way out. And like you said, he kind of showed a little bit of it last night. I don't want to speak to his work ethic or any of that stuff, but just specifically that game last night, it showed that he didn't look like his heart was in that game. Even afterwards, when he's walking out in his pajamas in post game out of the locker room, I still just kind of like saw this look on his face that like, when a player has that fire in him to come back and do it again. I didn't see that in his face.
No,
I didn't see that in his eyes at all. And that to me kind of signals the end of this dynasty that they thought that they were building. And yeah, they got their 4. That's nice. They're always going to still be greats. They're going to be in the Hall of Fame, like all that stuff. But I see an 8 to 10 year drought coming, just like Brady went through. And they're going to run through all these things. They're going to be running through receivers and problems with who they got to sign and all. I see them going through the worst drought, and they're going to make the playoffs and like all that stuff. But there are about to be some new people coming out of new teams coming out of the AFC in the next 8 to 10 years. And I love it. I love it. And I feel like we broke that team last night. We broke them.
So I'll also say, just to double back on myself, because Travis Kelce, again, he annoys me, but he is a Hall of Famer. He is one of the greatest tight ends to ever play the game of football. He has given up his body. His work ethic is not to be questioned. I'm just saying at this point, at this level, at this stage, again, it's just like a fighter. You know, the reason why you don't pay him is because once you get $100 million, you turn into Conor McGregor. I'm not trying to get hit anymore. Like, what do I want to get hit for? And so there's something to that. And that's what I was saying. So I know you weren't saying that I was saying it, but I also don't want it to be misconstrued that I'm saying.
No, I wasn't saying about what you were saying about the money or anything. I'm saying just in general, exactly like you said, the dude's gotten beat up over the last how many years of his career. But I saw the same thing you saw last night. I saw a guy who he honestly did not look like he wanted to be out there on that field. And then even just watching his body language with Mahomes on the sideline, it was almost like, all right, bro, I think I'm out. I think it's time for me to clock out and go home now. Like, I'm out. I'm done.
And so the other thing that amused me the most was Taylor Swift getting booed. It was at least 50, 60%, 70% Eagles fans.
She was like, "What's up? What's happening?"
Like, what's going on is we're booing you.
Yeah.
She was like, "What's going on?" Her girl looked like, "What is going on?"
Yeah, they were like,
"Wait, what? They're booing me?" First of all, that's the best part of it. The Eagles were beating them so bad, I didn't have to see Taylor Swift. I didn't have to see her cheer. I didn't have to see her clap. I didn't have to see her jump up and down. All I saw was the fact that Anne Hathaway, baby girl, I love you. You one of my favorite cat women of all time. And girl, I tell you what, you going gangrene. I got to get on my Fit Daddy level. I do movie reviews and stuff too, Dave. Okay, I'm going hard with this Black Gritty thing, and Black Gritty's taking off. I'm getting back into my movies, and one of my main goals is to go and interview a CEO on the red carpet somewhere, Anne Hathaway, so I can just say "Go Birds," and she just says "Go Birds" back to me, and then I'm gonna quit. That's my only goal right now. I got to get out here to these carpets so I can bump into her and say "Go Birds." I love you, girl. You the best guy, whatever. And then leave. And then
I never even knew she was a Birds fan. Like, where did that even come from? Like, is she from the area?
I haven't looked it up yet. I don't care, but I'm an Anne Hathaway guy. And I mean, it don't take much to get me excited. Okay. Secondly, let me put this back up here. Let me just roll through some stuff.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. Beautiful. Tears of joy.
That's beautiful.
Tears of joy. That's a Heisman winner right there.
Yep.
That's a Heisman winner right there.
I was looking at his accolades. It's insane what he's done at such a young age, man. It's crazy. He's done everything. He could retire right now. He's won at every single level.
He has. So is Jalen.
Yeah.
Tell me my money, nigga. What was that baby Brady garbage you was talking, boy? Hey, have my lighter ready. Cause we smoking that Pat McCormick all night. Cue up they theme song. Kansas City Chiefs are some hoes. Oh, just some hoes. Bitch. This is a great night to have Patrick's favorite meal, fried chicken. Give me my money, nigga. What was that, baby?
So, dude, my saved reels are going crazy. Okay, matter of fact, it's Instagram. So if you see a half a boob pop out, it's not my fault. This is Instagram. I'm just I don't, this is the Nick I like. See ya. So when you're yelling at the opposing team's fan, that's the kind of feeling I like. That's what I like. Okay. Up, they out here partying. Yeah, I don't know what the music is. I can't play the music. I don't want to get my show taken down. But AJ out here. Guess what? Oh, there he goes. There he goes. Howie. He swept through the suit. They might have doused with some champagne. Actually, look at the grooving on a Sunday afternoon. Okay, Lori. Here it is. Get down with the boogie. Jeffrey Lori out here shaking it. Oh, by the way, if you're listening on audio, you got to get over here to YouTube and subscribe for your boy. I need numbers, and you need to see the views, okay? The views. Jeffrey Lori, you deserve all of that, and I appreciate you, and I thank you.
So you know what I never knew? I never knew that obviously there's always like a post-celebration for the winning team. I didn't realize they still have the party for the losing team. Still, why? That was the most depressing shit I think I've ever seen in my entire life watching that party last night.
So first of all, they usually don't show it. But in general, the sportsmanship, you know what I mean? Like you do work and earn your second place. It's so crazy that like being second is just a travesty and it gets no credibility. It really is one of those things where it's like, man alive, it's just so bad and nobody's happy about it. And it just really is. But you did earn something. You're conference champion. You are the second best in the world. And at least you could do after a year's work of hard work and getting your butt kicked. Let me go have some free drinks You know what I mean? And they already paid for it.
Yeah.
It's already paid for. Shout out to Stoutland University.
Yes.
Stoutland University and the family. This man deserves his own statue.
But see, this is why I say, like, I was making a joke earlier that, oh my goodness, they gave the blueprint on how to beat Mahomes. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. They still don't have Stoutland. They still don't have Fangio. And they still don't have the personnel to actually go out there and do it. That's the thing. Like, I feel like we're so fortunate to have these guys, these coordinators who have been here for as long, Fangio's new, but Stoutland has been here. And he's gotten to the point of his career where players are coming here because of him.
Yes.
Becton came here because of him. And look at him now. That man was forgotten about, thrown away in New York. He came down here with Saquon, different New York team. And they're Super Bowl champions in the first year being here.
Yep. And not only that, Stoutland has built a culture where, like, he knows really quickly whether you're good or bad. If you're bad, they get rid of you. If you're good, they're going to keep you. And so much so that the backups are always prepared when they step in.
Mm-hmm.
When they step in. And it was a masterclass. It was a blueprint. I'm going to play one more thing. We're going to go back and talk about the game.
Here we come.
Never before in NFL history, baby. Woo!
Greatest team of all time.
My friend took me to a Chiefs game and dressed me up like Ronald McDonald.
Loud and proud, baby. Bills, go Chiefs. There ain't no flying Eagles. We got you. You worry about the refs. We'll worry about the rings, baby.
Allen had my ass. Guess what, all you haters? We going back to the Super Bowl. Let's go. Woo! Let's go.
Let me just put that in black and white and freeze it and say, in fact, they did go back.
Yeah.
They didn't win the Super Bowl, and they repeat. And they did.
Lukewarm corn dog shit was that.
Oh man, it's so good. So now I want to move over to the fact of why I'm telling you and everybody else that Jalen Hurts is the greatest quarterback on God's green earth. He is number one. He is not number 2, 3, or 4. He is better than Josh Allen. He is better than Joe Burrow. He is better than Lamar Jackson. He is better than Patrick Mahomes right now because, again, he's outplayed him in 2 Super Bowls. They were going to give him, the losing quarterback, the MVP. I don't care what anybody says. But I will say this. I was told the Spagnola had chips, dip, and everything in the kitchen sink to throw at Jalen Hurts, and he was going to confuse him. And they were going to take away Saquon Barkley, and they were going to destroy the Philadelphia Eagles because Jalen Hurts isn't who we think he is. And he almost did it. They stopped Saquon Barkley. They stopped the running game of the Philadelphia Eagles. So for everybody out there who told me that Saquon carried this team and forgot the other 3 years of watching Jalen Hurts play quarterback, I have FitDad on the show, so I'm going to be very polite when I say this. You can rub my back and shut the LL Cool J up. It is a great day in the morning for people like us, and it's a crappy day for people like you. You can enjoy the Super Bowl, you can enjoy the win, but you know in your heart now that you have to shut up because Jalen Hurts not only wins, he does whatever it takes to win. Okay? Jalen Hurts is not a system quarterback. Jalen Hurts is the system. And the system is do whatever you got to do to get that George W. I say that so politely because my guest on is a family man that sells family products, and I too want to piggyback off that land. So just know that you're lucky that we have Jalen Hurts as our quarterback. What would you like to say about Jalen Hurts' performance, Dave?
I had a feeling that this is exactly what was going to happen. I mean, this was written in the stars. How many times have they trashed this man on national TV, made jokes about him, made memes about him? And for him to come in so poised, so ready for whatever they threw at him, which wasn't a lot, to be honest, he tore that defense apart. For a guy that can't read defenses, man, he sure did put up a lot of points on you. For a guy that can't read defenses, man, he sure knows when to run and when not to run. For a guy that's a running quarterback or glorified running back, he sure knows how to get that ball down the field to DeVonta Smith. Man, that was a beautiful throw. He sure did know how to get that ball over to A.J. Brown. He sure knew how to get that. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Did he step out of the pocket looked down the field, saw Saquon alone for a second, and got that ball down to him. He did whatever he needed to do to get the win. That play, when I saw he had that play action with DeVonta, when I saw DeVonta break past that safety, I knew it was done. That was when the game was 100% over at that point.
Watching their face, I'll see if I can pull that play up, because watching their faces was something to behold. And this, I believe this is the right quote that I want to get right here.
Locker room after the NFC Championship game, and I'll say it now, like it was like a party in there. You know, when I first saw it, I was like, holy shit, this team's confident. But boy, should they have been. That dude, though, had his head down, was walking around focused, looked like they just won a preseason game. And, you know, shook his hand, and I said, hey, go finish it, you know. And what he said to me, actually, I'm not claiming to be his friend. I don't talk to Jalen a lot. I've run into him maybe 2-3 times in my life. He said, it's already been written. I'll never forget that.
I got chills.
And what that is belief. It's resolve. And that's between the ears, which is the hardest thing as a football player. And so congratulations to Jalen Hurts. He's a part of Philadelphia history. You know, when we saw them in the locker room.
So maybe reading a book on the sideline does do something for you. It does help your mentals. It does help you refocus, because everybody wants you to warm up on a bike and ride that bike and stretch your hamstrings out and don't get cold. But no one wants you to find inner peace. No one wants you to find a better way to channel your anger, rage, annoyance. You know, you could have a DB out there that's sticking his finger in your eyes trying to jam you on every play. You're just frustrated, and maybe you need something to help cool you down instead of fighting with a net on the sideline or fighting with your teammates. But you know, but the media and local people and national people definitely tried to clown AJ for that. But when you listen to that quote about Jalen Hurts' mindset and his belief and the way he carried himself, then you understand. I think this video is funny.
It's a phone call with a request saying he want a shrimp burger and some hot dog. I don't even do shrimp burgers no more. But we're going to do that for our hometown hero, Mr. Tate. Bring that ring. Not a problem. Bring that ring home, baby. All right, y'all be careful. Fly, Eagles, fly. All right, man. That's on me. You know, it declined the last time.
So that was DeVonta Smith going to a hometown joint down there to go get some food. And obviously he knows the owner there, and the owner's known him for a long time. So they were joking around with each other. But I was like, man, that's that stuff like that, man. That stuff means something to me. I find it amusing and cool and fun, especially when he's busting his chops. Say, hey, man, it's on me. Now it's on me. Hey, last time your card declined, player. But he's in a different financial situation right now. So it is definitely an amazing thing. I'm going to try and find that. See if I can get that.
I just feel like we got a really, really good group of guys. And like, you're going to listen, people have drama with their coworkers all the time. And just like you said, I love that they try to clown them for the fact that they're trying to be mentally stronger and do things to make themselves mentally strong. And look at this team, because when AJ came off the sidelines after that one play where Hurts missed him, you could see he was pissed off. Yeah. But instead of letting that sit there and fester, he went to the bench, shut his mouth, came right back out, had a play drawn up for him, and he scored a touchdown, which he could have totally been out of it mentally because he was pissed off during that next play and ran the wrong route. Instead, he came back out there and got a touchdown for his team. So that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of these analysts need to go on their shows in the next like 48 hours and start giving major apologies. Because the only one I've seen do it is Dan Orlovsky. He's the only one who actually gave an actual apology for clowning these guys, and just specifically Jalen Hurts.
They don't give an apology. They just gloss over and say again, they're trying to give every caveat to. Now the Chiefs just weren't a good team. They weren't. They didn't have a good offensive line. They struggled all year. That's why they only had 1-point wins. They're doing all the backpedaling on themselves to try and still make the Chiefs be great. Today is not the day for the Chiefs to be great. Patrick Mahomes got his ass whooped. Patrick Mahomes looked like dog crap. Patrick Mahomes all the things you say when they make fun of Josh Allen and Lamar and they talk about they can't rise to the moment, Patrick Mahomes did that. So he has to sit with that. And again, the biggest thing when I say I criticize players and I criticize coaches, whoever, those coaches criticize themselves in the moments when I do it the most. The quarterback says, hey, that was on me. I had a bad game. So I'm not just out here saying, I can't believe you threw for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns and you still lost. I would never do that. But when you go out there and you throw 3 picks, like, come on, bro, you're in the post game saying that's on me. So it's on you to be taking this L.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see this.
Some block, or maybe it's slowing down. Hurts going deep for it all. DeVonta Smith.
Bang!
He has got
Bang!
Can you can hear?
Makes a huge play. Now the Eagles.
Oh God, it's so beautiful.
Celebrate with him. Absolutely amazing.
When Burkhardt starts talking about the play, you can hear the excitement. You can knew exactly what was going to happen when he let that ball, when he pulled that ball back from Saquon. Yeah. He saw DeVonta down the field, and now you could hear his voice elevate in almost a half a second.
My future ex-wife, Anne Hathaway, right here. You know what I mean? She's so excited. That's real joy right there. That is happiness. She's not high-fiving people looking for the camera. She's actually watching the game and celebrating.
Mm-hmm.
Half the time when you watch Taylor Swift, she's turned around hugging everyone and not into the game. This is how you celebrate. You look and watch the game.
I do love some of those comments though. Like, when did all these celebrities start liking the Eagles? I've never seen Anne Hathaway talk about the Eagles like the Eagles, and I'm not crucifying her or anything like that. Yeah. I just do find it funny that all of a sudden now all these actors and stuff are coming out being Eagles fans.
Well, I'll say this because I'm going to protect my wife at all costs. There is something to be said about the fact that when, like even Taylor Swift will wear her Eagles hat and the hoodie and sweatshirt. It's not like she was actively out, running and going to games, but she grew up with her father, and her father's an Eagles fan. She grew up an Eagles fan. You know what I mean? She sees this hoodie, she buys a hoodie. You know what I mean? And maybe she only watches games with her dad at home, whatever. But that doesn't mean that she's quote unquote less of a fan. It just means that, like, she just doesn't go to games. And to be honest with you, when you're a celebrity, now there's more accessibility to it to get access so you can get in. Because a lot of people are like, I got to go get my publicist to find a person to get me in. I got to ask a booth. I don't want to do all that. And a lot of people don't. But now, you know what I mean? The person I have a problem with is like the dude from Saturday Night Live. Skinny guy.
Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson. He's a New York guy. And I know his agent is friends with Dom and they're cool. So he's like, I met Dom and Dom's super cool and the Eagles super cool. I get it, bro. Winning organizations are the shit. I want to be around them too. But I'm not going to go hang out with my enemy. Dude, I'll wear Peyton Manning. I wear, I got Ray Lewis. I got all kinds of jerseys, all kinds of teams. I love players. Never anyone in New York Giants, Dallas Cowboys, or the Washington Redskins Commanders. I just won't do it.
Nope.
And I love Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor's like my spirit animal. And I can't do it. I can't do it. Anybody else? So him coming around here doing that irks me. Got that tush push on your face. They couldn't stop it. It was just an amazing game. Dotson on the dot.
So I actually did. You said you didn't make any put any action on the game. I actually did. And I put 50 on Jahan Dotson being the first touchdown. I freaked out when he caught that, and then they pulled it back. Everybody, I had that Parker Pub. Everybody in the Parker Pub was like, "Oh man!" I was like, "That was like, I think it was a cool, like, I think it was like 3,200. I would have won off of that 50." And I was like, "Oh."
When he got the tush push, he gave it to Dallas Goedert to get the spike on it. Bradley Cooper was better than Ham in the introduction. That's my quarterback. That's my quarterback. These are my captains. BG, the real BG. I am still trying to get him to do a podcast with me called Real G's. And I got plans. I got a lot of hopes and dreams out here, Fit Dad.
I like that name.
Real G's. I mean, one of them is gonna come true.
BG squared.
Yeah, BG squared. Do the math.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, come on, man.
It rolls right off the tongue.
It sure do. I mean, my goodness. Let's dance. Boom. It did. That's my king. That's my goat, LeBron. Watch it. What big man you know out here doing? That's me right there. Look, I can do a little two-step. That's me. I'll be back there for Christmas, Halloween, and dinner. I mean, my goodness. So Sweat, oh gosh, I got to tell you a little story about Sweat offline when we hop off the air. I really should start charging, just do after shows so more people pay so you can listen to it, because I can't just put it out on the air, even though it would be great for my brain and my business. This is that play we was talking about. You jumped the gun on Maddox. Look at that. Tell me that don't look like Asante Samuel, right? Like you see what I'm saying when I say I feel certain ways? I'll be having flashbacks. Like I don't care what happens. When I saw Cooper hit King Henry, I thought it was Brian Dawkins. I said that is Brian Dawkins. The form of the tackle, the position, and the player he was tackling. I said I know he white. I don't care.
I feel like these guys are like. Yeah, I feel like these guys are like studying like the old ways. I even saw somebody sharing a picture of like Jim Johnson saying like, man, it just felt like watching that defense like all over again. It was crazy. But it wasn't just like heavy hitting. It was smart football. Oh, man. I get chills every time I see it. Every time I see it, it's crazy.
Kenny Pickett has thrown more passes in the Super Bowl than Dak Prescott.
Yes.
I can name others, but I just want to say Dak Prescott.
No, Dak Prescott for sure. Yes, and we already were never going to have that conversation about like who's better, Dak or Hurts as far as like skill. And now, listen, we don't even have to ever have that conversation ever again.
Ever again.
Oh,
is this
look at
King?
This! Bam, right there. Oh,
King. Oh God.
Wow. And that was a big part of that game last night too. One of the things that they're not talking about enough is the great field coverage that we had, or should I say position. We were over their 50, almost 50% of the game, if not more. Our starting field position, we were at the over the 50-yard line in their territory almost the entire game. That in itself is a recipe for victory.
And again, Nick punted it when he had to, but he also had balls and went for it on fourth downs.
Yep.
And he showed his aggression and was being smart about it. I'm gonna play this off air because you can hear the audio. I've been playing audio, right? You can hear that, Dave?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Chat room, hope you guys can hear the audio. Nobody's complaining they can't hear it. This is we're both dads. We love the kids. This is a child watching the game, and he's a Chiefs fan. I'm not gonna put this child on screen, but I want you to listen to the audio.
I just wanted our kid to get one single point, but we haven't even get a point. I know, honey. I'm so sorry. They don't have 1 point yet. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. They might get 1 point. I hope they get at least one. I'm sorry. I just wanted our kid to get one single point, but we haven't even get a point. I know, honey. I'm so sorry.
This poor child has to be of the age of between 7 and 10.
Oh,
and he is in his mother's arms with his back to the television. She is consoling him. The current score is 34-0 in the third quarter. And the pain in this child's voice, again, we love the kids here on Grady Nights. We will not put this child on screen. He does not deserve that, but it's even just listening to it.
Man, he sounded like he was just in hell. Can we just get one point?
My boy was going through it. Absolutely going through it. And I mean, my goodness gracious.
So at what point did you know that we were going to win this game? Like at what point in the game that you were just like, yeah, it's done? I don't know if before the game started, whatever it was, but I'm saying during the game, when you were watching it, what part of it cemented it for you that we were going to get this W? Sorry, George W.
I appreciate you. So when I stopped caring is when Zack Baun got that interception. When it was back-to-back interceptions after an interception return for a touchdown, I said to myself, I don't even care to get the ball back at halftime anymore. Because at that point, for a 24-0. At that point, when they scored that touchdown to have a field goal, what really set me apart was I was chilling with a lady, and I said to her, I know you don't know nothing about ball. I was like, but tell me what's the one thing you see the Chiefs are doing versus what the Eagles are doing? And this is a girl who casually watches football. She's like, I don't know. they haven't run it. And I'm like, exactly. The Chiefs have not run the ball. They're never getting back in this game. The Eagles are hunting. Like, let's hunt. They were literally hunting. Like they didn't, when you don't have to respect any other part of the game. And this is what Andy Reid, again, this is the Andy I'm used to, gets caught up in the pass. And he just never ran the ball. And it was just, that's when I knew. Once Baun got that interception, I was like, oh, it's a wrap. Because I looked right at her. I'm like, what is the other team not doing? Because I was thinking to myself, like, you're on the 2-yard line. Just run and get a couple yards. Just try to run. Nope. And she's like, they're not running the ball. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, why aren't they running the ball? Is their running person hurt? And I'm like, no, they're running. This is not hurt. They have 2 running persons, but they don't choose to run. I laughed at that. I thought that was funny. But running person hurt. Yeah. I mean, and dude, I tell you what, she knows enough. She got the brothers, Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts sweater picture. She came over. She was so proud. She's like, I ordered a shirt for the game.
Oh, the Step Brothers one?
Step Brothers. She got the Step Brothers, Jalen and Saquon on it. She's like, I don't know about what jersey or whatever, but I thought this shirt was cool. I was like, that shirt is cool, bro. You got it. You can football around here anytime you want to. He had so many quotes.
Oh, so many, yeah.
Let me get back so I can go back to it.
The battles, all of the struggles that you've gone through your life in college and through the pros, does this validate it for the world or does it validate it for yourself?
What's the quote? I had a purpose before anybody had an opinion. You know, that thing is still true. And my purpose is being who God called me to be. And like I said, it's never been about anyone else. It's never been about anyone else. It's just been about the journey of embracing everything and trying to grow and be the best that I can be.
Does this validate all of the battles?
So he's also been saying the story isn't over when it's just begun. And like I said, I almost got us kicked off of the Chiefs season. I talked about what Jalen Hurts' quote book, his nursery rhyme book, everything's gonna be coming out because my boy is out here slanging it. He really is, and it is truly amazing to see. Only 2 quarterbacks have ever defeated Patrick Mahomes in a Super Bowl, and they are 2 of the greatest quarterbacks that have ever walked God's green earth. And one of them's this guy,
another one,
and the other one's this guy. And this score, my friend, is 40-6.
Let's stop with this 40-22 stuff because it's not
on my deathbed. When I'm not going to live long, Dave. I'm not long for this earth. I might make it to like 60. Okay, but just know if you ever come to visit me, because you're going to outlive me, I know you're going to live a long time. You fit that. You're going to be making it. So when you're like 90 and you come to check on my grave, my tombstone is going to say 40-6 on that bed. I don't care what nobody say. I'm putting that thing on my tombstone. I don't want to hear nothing about this Fugazi 2022. You went in there against the backups, and I know he wasn't like slinging it like pad his stats. He was just doing it because he's an ultra competitor or whatever. But you went in there against backups and got that, and you didn't deserve it. And I'm just happy. I'm just happy.
Yeah. They love those garbage time touchdowns. Like, and I go back. I keep going back.
Sorry. I want to play a video while you're talking. I still want to play.
No, go ahead. It's no. I just got to go back to the people who critiqued him. I mean, even right up until the day before, the things that these people said about not even just Jalen Hurts, but the team and the logic of this game was just ridiculous. And it's funny because I heard I don't even want to say his name, Nick Wrong. He is always talking about how the Chiefs are just the greatest. And but he said something where he said, if there was a blowout that's going to occur, it's going to be on the Eagles side because the Chiefs aren't equipped to blow this team out. They're equipped to keep it close and have a close win. And that's what he was predicting was the Chiefs are going to come out and have a close win against the Birds. But he did say, I will give him credit for this. If there is a blowout, it will be on the Eagles side of the ball. That's the only thing he said that was correct.
So also, if you haven't watched First Things First today, it is the greatest episode of First Things First I've ever seen in my life. the sheer point that they do all this stuff is pre-produced. They have things that they prepare for winning, and they have a budget, and they spend the budget, and they spend all the budget on the Chiefs because that's Nick's team, and that's what Nick says, and they've been right. And he's got the tattoo. He got tattooed the first time they're going to win, so he knows, never a doubt. So they still went through with all of the Chiefs' budgetary things. They had singers, they had trumpet players, they had the Chiefs banners, and they still showed all the banners, and it was absolutely amazing. And I just can't get over how amazing it was. I'm going to try and play a little piece of this without getting in trouble if I could pause it a couple of times, because Nick Wright was at a party, Clutch Sports at the Super Bowl, and a woman came up to him.
Is it? No, I know you're going to say. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, a woman came up to him and was talking to him about how he handled and dealt with Jalen Hurts. So if you guys could bear with me, I'm going to pause this frequently so that YouTube doesn't take it down and that you guys get to hear it. So I will stop it a couple of times so we can play it, but that's why I'm doing that, so I can try and get away with it. Come on now.
Welcome back to our Super Bowl Monday show. Greg Jennings, who correctly picked the Eagles, joins us now. Jalen Hurts answered the call. 3 touchdowns, just under 300 total yards in a rout. Here's Jalen postgame.
I'm that same kid that, went to the national championship and lost, and went back and, got benched and had to transfer and had to go through this just unprecedented journey. And that kid always kept the main thing, and always was true to his vision and what he saw. Only the beginning until it's the end, and the end ain't coming anytime soon.
Let's go.
That's my quarterback. That's my quarterback. Let's go. Only 6 quarterbacks, 7 quarterbacks have 2 Super Bowl appearances in the first 5 years, 1 with a Super Bowl win. That's Tom Brady, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Big Ben Roethlisberger. It's funny they call him Big Ben. They just don't say Ben. That's funny. Right? Isn't that funny how he's the only one with and then Warner and Aikman? I guess Russ is a nickname too. Russ and Ben. Only the Steelers got these little, like, that's weird. Anyway. And yeah, that's freaking me out that that's that way. But he's in an elite class, okay? And he's the first one since Plunkett to lose his first Super Bowl, get back to Super Bowl, and win it. And I don't know if you know who Plunkett is. So if you're listening, just know that Jalen Hurts is out here doing things, many of things that no one else has done. And it is just incredible. Let me just see what Nick writes, if I can get right into him talking about the party you went to.
A few drinks like most people are. And a woman walks up to me and says, I need to ask you one question. Why do you talk so bad about Jalen Hurts? I was like, well, I don't think I talk bad. And she was not budging a bit. It's like, no, you do. And I was like, well, let me tell you the good things I've said about him. I actually referenced the college thing. That's not what I'm working. And once this goes on for 5, 6, 7 minutes, have a little moment of clarity. I say, ma'am, can I ask you one question real quick? So yeah. I said, are you Jalen Hurts' mother? She said, yes, I am.
Now that's what a mama bear is supposed to do.
Yep.
That's what a mama bear is supposed to do. That's that, you know what I mean? And I know why Jalen's dad didn't do it, because he would have went up in his grill. But mama bear out there protecting her child, protecting her seed, found Nick Wright at the clutch party and was like, bro. And again, he's saying 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes. She getting on him.
And it went on for another 15 minutes where I think very cordial but intense mother defending her child against someone who she thinks has been unfair to him. And she ended it with this. She said, I just want to know what you're going to say when he wins tomorrow. And because I'm me, I'm like, well, if he wins. And then she says, no, when he wins. And I said, well, I've got to see how he plays, but I promise I'll be fair. So to Mrs. Hurts and to anyone else.
So again, I'm pausing this for you guys so I don't get fined. That's all. So I don't get fined. This episode, again, just now, Nick, most Chiefs fans, Dave, would you say are just really nice, wholesome people? I didn't get a lot of vitriol. I got a lot of go Chiefs in my comments. I got some pushback. Like every once in a while there was a screw you, but it wasn't like with Niner fans or Cowboys fans or even Commanders fans. Like these Chiefs fans, one, I feel like a lot of them just restarted watching football again 7 years ago. Two, they're in the Midwest and they're very friendly and happy to be here. And, they've won a bunch now. So their pain from losing for forever has kind of waned. Have you gotten that feeling from the fans?
Yeah. I don't get a lot of rude Chiefs fans. I get maybe some arrogant ones every once in a while, but other than that, they're definitely not like us Cowboys fans, 49ers fans,
Yeah. So all of that is because Nick Wright has absorbed all of it. He has 99% of the pain and vitriol. Any team that he finds to be a threat to the Kansas City Chiefs, he denounces, defames, and determined to downplay and downtrodden that team. It was the 49ers, then it was us again, and he just goes after that team month after month, week after week, game after game, and tries to rip them apart because he knows that they're a threat. And now this is him talking about Jalen Hurts.
He was phenomenal. The Chiefs did do the thing that I think anyone who was confident the Chiefs would win thought, stop Saquon and you win. That's the one thing they did effectively game plan-wise. And it didn't work because Jalen made every play that was asked of him.
Which is what he does in the biggest games all the time. He just does what's asked of him.
It's the second Super Bowl he's played in, great in both. It's the fourth conference championship game or Super Bowl he's played in. He's been great in 3 of them, and the one he wasn't great, he didn't have to be. There's the game Purdy got knocked out of, and that game was basically over immediately. And so he is as impressive as a leader as just about anyone.
So now I'm going to take this off the screen because I'm trying to keep it going. And I'm going to play the audio again so we can finish watching it. And then we're going to get back to this game and get out of here.
In the sport, and the team he leads just had, in my opinion, a top 5 all-time Super Bowl performance by a team as far as what they did on both sides of the ball. So we were debating this last week. To me, this is what I will say about Jalen. Because I do value the winning, I do value the toughness, and I do value the big game stuff. I don't view it as a big 4 quarterbacks in the league. I think it's now 5. I think he is. I think it is unfair to say.
Unfair to say. He thinks it's unfair to say. He thinks it's unfair to keep Jalen Hurts now out of the top 5, even though the people he's about to name on this list, except for Joe Burrow, who didn't win a Super Bowl, can't beat Patrick Mahomes in the postseason. Let's hear it.
That Joe or Lamar or Josh are just definitively, clearly in a different class than Jalen. I think he's got to be in that class. No, at the bottom of the class, sure, but in that top 5. And so that's what I would say.
That's saying a lot. Wow. Well, look, I've said for a long time now, and I think all of us have, that Jalen Hurts is a winner.
I'll just stop right there because that's all that matters from these Fugazis. Jalen Hurts is a winner. He gets George W's. And, for Nick to even bend the knee after, this whole show, if you want to see a dead body, they are killing him. And Broussard doesn't even deserve it because Broussard picked the Chiefs too, and he picked against the Eagles over and over and over again all throughout the playoffs. He picked the Packers. He picked the Rams. Like, I don't hear nothing out of Broussard. But again, it is fun for everybody to pile on Nick because Nick has been so egregious and so insane. So we're talking about the offense. The Eagles offense and Jalen Hurts playing well, the Dotson making plays, making catches. Again, I ripped on him because I'm like, Howie, what are you doing? You made this trade for this guy. They had Wilson, 9'30". He dropped that one wide open pass. Otherwise, Jalen Hurts would have been perfect in the first dang half until, that AJ mishap. So it was just an all around perfectly executed game. If I was Kellen Moore, there's a sexual scandal going on in the Saints organization right now too. I would not go to that team right now. I would, dude.
Did you hear the plea that Nick made after the game to him? Up on the podium, he literally said, as he was talking to I think it was Bradshaw he was talking to, he goes, he said something about you. I think Terry said to him something about you. Well, you might be losing your offensive coordinator. And he said, well, listen, Kellen, let's run this shit back. He said, let's run it back. Let's do it again next year. Let's come back again next year. And everyone's like, yo, just like you said, they got this thing going down in the Saints organization right now. It's about to blow up down there. And it doesn't seem like it's going to get better. And I don't know why he would want to take all that on when he already has a team that is set up to win again. I don't want to go out looking for Frank Wrights and all these other different guys. Like, come back.
And he's going to be made a scapegoat. Like,
yes, exactly.
You're going to get the $10 million or double your pay or whatever. You're already getting $5 million. And again, no team that you're going to get the job for, to be honest, is a good team, right? All the teams are coaches are bad teams. But the Saints are just really a dumpster fire, and they have nothing for you to work with. Yep. And you're going to go there and have to deal with all the scandal. Just don't do it. And again, anyway, we'll see how that works out. But yeah, so we talked about the offense defense, Jake Elliott, Mr. Tripod himself. God, just so amazing. So amazing. So I was on my buddy Joe Castro and his podcast called Philly, and he does a great job. And he did like a pre-Super Bowl thing where he was just recording shows with people to post up Super Bowl morning. And he asked me, this is where somebody gets me with a good question. He asked me, if you could pick somebody to give a Super Bowl speech, who would it be? And what would you tell them to say? And in great Black Gritty fashion, I picked someone he did not expect. And that person that I picked was Jake Elliott. And so this is going to be me as Jake Elliott giving my Super Bowl speech before the game to hype up the team and have them rally. So this would be my speech as if I was Jake Elliott. Tell him to say is, hey, the same way they've doubted us, they've doubted me. And even though more times than not, I've come through, I've also let you guys down. And then the times that I've let you down, each and every one of you has picked me up. I missed one kick, and you guys made sure we got the win. And I made sure I made every kick after that. And I apologize for letting you down, even though nobody holds that against me. I still have my job. I still have my security. I still have my brotherhood. And I tell you what, man to man, if any one of you makes a mistake, it's up to the guy next to him to pick him up and help him through that mistake, because nobody's perfect in any game. But in this game, if we stay together, that's all that matters. I appreciate you guys for supporting me. I love you. And we're undefeated if I miss a kick. So nobody kill me if I miss one PAT. You see what I'm saying, baby? Let's go. And what I would tell him to say is, and I thought that was a pretty good speech off the fly for your boy, Jake Elliott, Mr. Tripod himself. He'll always be a favorite of mine. He won me a steak dinner bet a long time ago when he hit that kick against the Giants. I always have a standing bet with my buddy from New York. And he was texting me all. He's like, "Oh, you better send me my $100. I'm eating good on you tomorrow." And I was like, "Shut up, man!" And your boy's about to hit that cash app. And then Jake Elliott came out there, Mr. Tripod himself. We got BD Nick and we got Mr. Tripod, Jake Elliott. Yeah, if you don't know what the tripod is, this is the third leg. We'll figure it out. So I was like, that was a fun statement. And life is good. Life is good. Also, people are worried about all the free agency. You talked about Sweat earlier. Milton Williams. There's so many guys that are on. Baun isn't signed yet.
Yep.
Everybody's worried about, everybody's worried about what's going to happen and how he's going to do it. And right after the Super Bowl, like an hour afterwards, I did have this video ready to go because I am from the future.
Getting to the money. Everybody mad. I got all this money on my motherfucking mind. Diamonds on my dial. I can't even see the time. All I know is blood, Crips, Pyru. Everybody mad.
Everybody mad. So if you listen again on audio, this is not Howie Roseman singing, but it is a Caucasian male in a suit in his car, dripping money all over his head. And I said, Howie already thinking about the draft. This was 20 minutes after the thing went down. So I'm not worried about Howie Roseman. I'm not worried about who we're going to lose and who we can retain and who we can keep, because Howie has been working magic. Johnny Marks, I was on his show earlier, and he's been talking about how he's been on the Howie resurgence train ever since he messed up with the Justin Jefferson. He was like, look, he's made better picks. He's adjusted stuff. And he's trying to give him a parade in 2022. And in 2022, when he had it on the show, I said, look, 2024, we can give Howie Roseman a parade. He's like, you gonna make way too much. I was like, I got to see how the picks turn out. You know, he's drafted name brands now. I just need to see how they turned out. And 2024, Howie Roseman also gets his own parade. Howie Roseman has you know, along with Vic Fangio, because last year you had some of these same guys and they did not come to fruition. But with Vic Fangio at the helm, it has turned around and it is great. I'm not going to play the audio for this. So again, if you're on if you're on the audio, I'm going to play a little montage video I have up. Let me just pause that. It's the Chiefs looking sad during the game, and you heard the little start of it. Because you had a bad day, taking one down.
Love it. Love it.
Turn it around. Because you had a bad day. Cameras don't lie. Oh, it's so sad. Patrick Mahomes has that frog face on, trying to figure out why the scoreboard looks like that.
Oh, that little pout lip. That's such a shame.
How do I have a 0? You know what I'm saying? How do I have a 0? Where's my other one? I got a petty video out here for the people. Obviously, I did my rant video where I was talking about profanity and all kinds of outrageous talk. But then I also have this gem of a gem video. I'm promoting myself right now. Fit Dad, don't worry about me.
To be sick of me. I said,
so I'm bathed in green for audio listeners, and I'm lip syncing this horrible song. You're gonna be sick of me. Okay. I got a little keyboard. I'm playing the music. I'm doing my best Rob Williams impression.
And you do Cam Newton in there too.
I got Cam, Chase Daniels, Jody Cameron, Dan Orlovsky, Colin Cowherd, Spike Esker, Chris Broussard, Paul Pierce, Mike Greenberg, Mina Kimes, Lauren Ruffledge, Tom Kelly, Cam Newton. I also got to put Chris Sims in there. I was
gonna say, you forgot about Sims.
My list of petty is long. It is long, and if you think anybody else, go ahead and put the name in the comments like others have, because I got a whole summer just randomly roasting people. I'll be sitting there deep in Philly situation, just pop out with a video or just talking trash on Chris Sims. And
somebody said Chris Sims was talking some crazy stuff today, even after they won. I forget what it was. I gotta look it up. I'll find it. I'll tell you. Maybe.
Yeah, if you find it, I will do that.
Yeah. But yeah, I need to see a lot more of these apology videos coming out from these guys, because I'm seeing too much backtracking on this stuff. And Nick Wright, he didn't even actually apologize. All he did was just move the goalpost. Oh, well, he deserves to be in the top 5. Yeah. He deserves to be number 1 is what he deserves to be, because not one of those other people in that top 5 besides Mahomes has a ring.
But and none of these guys do take responsibility for the things that they say. And then when a player comes out and jumps on, like Clark, what's his name? It's Chris Clark from the Pivot. Ryan Clark. Clark is real reckless, and he's got the pivot, and he is a brother. He is a pro-black man. But every once in a while, he gets out of pocket when he was talking about Tua and his tribal tattoos and his body weight and all this kind of stuff. And Tua had to check him like, "Yo, bro, I'm not the one. You don't know me to be joking about me and my body. Like, that seems weird." So a lot of these guys only do it when they get checked by somebody. And the only reason that Dan Orlovsky did it is because Dan don't want to sleep on the couch. Okay.
Yeah.
He at home with an Eagles fan, and these women don't play. The only reason he kept bending the knee back and forth is because the wife at home. I know when he came home and he was talking reckless about the Eagles, she was like, "Bro, you want to eat cardboard this week? Because it seems like you want to eat cardboard." Because then the next day he'd come in and say, "Well, actually, I looked at the game again, and look at these audibles Jalen's calling." I mean, he did have he kept finding gems in the rough to go and display. Jalen Hurts was doing something, because every week beforehand it was, they just can't win the coach quarterback combo. If I hear that one more time, I'm going to go buy a bag of combos and just go to jail, shoving them down people's throats. The quarterback combo. Well, now this quarterback combo, like I said earlier in the episode, is now on the equivalence of Sean McVay, on the equivalence of Mike McCarthy. Like, hey, Mike McCarthy ain't been to 2 Super Bowls. My bad. I mean, I'm just gonna go down this list, Mr. Fred Wilson, and talk about my coach and my quarterback. And I mean, I'm still gonna weight it heavy on my quarterback. Will Fred, also the thing I didn't say earlier too when I was giving my caveat is since college, Jalen Hurts won 80% of his games before he even got to the NFL. Okay, so he just got to the NFL and continued to win 80%. Nick's just along for the ride, but I can't say that after this week. This is last week. I say it. I only got 3 more days left, but I'm just saying for Red, it's just amazing. It is so, like I said it earlier. I don't sleep, but this time I couldn't go to sleep when I wanted to. I tried to lay down and like take a nap, and I texted you earlier, and then I was like, all right, now I'm about to pass out. Like now I'm at like exhaustion level, and I was like, I did pass out, but I only slept for like 2.5 hours, 3 hours. I got right back up and text you like, all right, we back in this thing like Donkey Kong.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, is there anything else you think of about the game, about last night, about your life, the future?
I'm excited for this team, man. They're young. They're talented. I mean, even with some of the guys getting older, some of these guys are going to be leaving in the next like 2-3 seasons. We got guys who probably aren't going to come back next year because they're going to go after the money. I want to enjoy this win right here because we are the champions. We will be able to hold this over every single person's head for the next season. And I cannot wait for this parade coming up. I honestly cannot wait for this parade coming up, whether I watch it at home or if I'm there, whatever it is. There's going to be tears. There's going to be, I already shed enough tears as it is, but it was just one of those wins that it felt good to beat the absolute dog crap out of that team. And we didn't do it. We didn't win by 3 points. We went in there and put our foot on their throats and didn't let up the entire game. That was the team that we've been waiting to see all season long, and they showed up in the last 2 games exactly the way we knew they could with skills, a Hurts skill set and Saquon's skill set. And the 2 of them really do make that offense as deadly as it is, and I don't see them stopping.
I don't see it stopping either. So I'm not going to the parade. I don't go to parades. The same reason is because I went to 2 NASCAR games and not NASCAR games, NASCAR races. And it's one of the weirdest things when you sit in a seat and you watch thousands, hundreds of thousands of people go like this. Woo! So you get to see the car in front of you for like 30 seconds and you scream for those 30 seconds and then you're just watching them loop, waiting for them to come back around. So when you go to the parade, I understand it. I appreciate everybody who goes out there. 1, I don't want to freeze to death. 2, you're literally standing there waiting to see them for maybe 30 seconds. And it's so rare that you can get to the place where it ends so you can watch and listen. The audio is going to be horrible. You got people bumping into you. There's kids everywhere. You don't want to step on them. I'm a big man. I crush things. And I can't hear the speeches. So I will be home in the comfort and the warmth of that lifestyle, and I will enjoy it. And I appreciate every single person that's out there. I hope that a player throws you a hat, a band, a beer. I hope that like they sign your kid's jersey because they do get off the bus and sign kids up. So I do understand the value and all that and being there. And I appreciate everybody that's doing that. I'm old now. I don't do it. I be in these streets, but I don't be in those kind of streets. I mean, I'm not trying to deal with the zombie apocalypse, and it's not what I'm worried about. Now, the last thing I'll say to you is that shout out to the 200 plus people that are in here. Appreciate you, and I thank you for being here. I was supremely confident. Dave has been supremely confident. And going into that game, I actually drove out to Parks Casino and I went and saw Seltzer for Go Birds. And he was like, because usually I hang out and sometimes they'll throw me a third mic and they let me on the air. But I literally drove over there and I was like, I heard you were nervous on the radio. So I came over here to give you a hug. I said, it's guaranteed. Like, don't worry about it. Like, I mean, it's not a problem. And his uncle was there, talking to his uncle. His uncle's nervous. I gave him my little speech or whatever. And he's like, wow. He's like, that's how you see it happen? I'm like, yeah, don't worry about a thing. It's going to be okay. And he's like, how do you feel like that? And I was like, first of all, my weekend started off fantabulously. Friday night, my daughter had her moment of weakness. It was her senior night on Saturday. It happened to be in the morning, but it was senior night. You know what it is. And she found out that the person she was going to wrestle had gotten sick, and the only other person they had to wrestle her was up 2 weight classes. And she was like, see, I told you I didn't want to wrestle on my senior night. Like, I could have just went there and got my flowers and did the thing or whatever. I was like, it doesn't matter if you win or lose, though. Like, I'm not ripping on you if you win or lose. Like, I just don't want to lose my senior night. Because the other seniors, the boys, lost on their senior night. And she's like, I don't want to lose on my senior night. And I'm like, well, then don't lose, right? And I told her, I was like, you're not going to lose. Like, you sit here talking about something, you already pre-defeated yourself. She's like, I'm going up 2 weight classes down. I'm like, yeah. I was like, and you used to beat boys all the time. This is a girl. So not for nothing, the boys in your own weight class are physically stronger than you. They're bigger than you. So, and you still would win sometimes. Like, you never know. Just go out there and do it. And so that morning, I had my iPad on. I wore it as a necklace around me, and I had a montage of like some of her greatest plays or pins. And I had a montage of baby pictures and her in jiu-jitsu, her in MMA in the octagon, like with the gloves on. And also I had her when she was doing MMA fighting some boy in a ring. And when I walked into that stadium, I mean, the parents know that I'm crazy, and they're like, I love this. The other coach was like, yo, that shit's cool. The other team, the wrestlers were like pointing them out like, yo, you see that? Because again, it's just highlights her sticking girl, bang, bang, flipping girls over. And I know they went and told that girl, like, yo, this girl ain't be played with. You see the video? The dude's wearing a video of this chick on his chest. Like, this chick ain't for play. Like, I heard the one guy say, he's like, yo, he's got a video of this girl on her. This girl must be great. And she's above 500. She's a really good. She's not the best, but she doesn't care to be the best. She just wants to do her thing. And she went out there and she won that match. She pinned the girl in the second round. And, you know, she was happy. And I say that to say, sometimes you have to have confidence. And we're all family people here. And the love that I have for the Eagles is also unmatched by love I have for my daughter. And as self-promotion, I'm going to play one last thing for you guys. And it's a video that I made for her because one day she's going to grow up and forget all the great things that she's done. I'm going to play that. We're going to talk to Dave, and we're going to get out of here. And I have you. And what I would tell him to say is, Samson had his hair, and I have you. I hope you always remember that it wasn't about being the best. It was about doing your best. I hope you remember that this is the hardest thing you've ever done wrestling. Harder than jiu-jitsu, softball, basketball, soccer, track. I hope you remember that time when you beat that boy and he started crying on the mat and he told his mom he wanted to quit. And you walked over to him and said, hey, I just got lucky. Don't quit. You were never the bully even when you had the upper hand to be. I hope you remember that you were the first girl on the mat in our small town and you inspired so many girls to wrestling. I hope you remember that time you were wrestling that boy and you sprained your wrist and you had tears in your eyes and you didn't quit. Your coach had to forfeit for you. You couldn't even use your arm for a week and you still were out there on that mat. I hope you remember how strong you are. I hope you remember winning the tournament in our small town, the one I wrestled in for 4 years and never got better than third. You were the first girl to be the champion. I hope you remember that. I hope you remember the film study. Oh man, remember we used to do film study? Yeah, now you don't need it. You remember and know exactly what you did right or wrong as soon as you go off the mat. But I hope you remember that. It was fun for me. I hope you remember that I'm proud of you. I hope you remember that no one shoots louder than me for you. And even when you think you can't hear me, just close your eyes and you can hear me. Samson had his hair and I have you. I hope you always remember how strong you are.
So do I embarrass you in sports?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
How do I embarrass you?
Well, you're very loud as a person when it comes to sports.
Yeah,
so you're yelling at me and then you yell at everyone else.
When am I yelling? When am I yelling at you?
Oh my God. Every single time when I'm doing something wrong, like, or something right. Like when I'm at second base per se, right? And I was like almost in my position, right? And then you just yell out, Leah, get in your position. Like from like really far away. And everybody can hear you because you're the loudest person there.
So first of all, I'm a coach. So I'm not that far
Even
away.
when you weren't a coach, you would always yell. Always.
Last but not least, Leah Stone.
Samson. So, man, I love my kid. I love the Philadelphia Eagles. And what I would suggest to you is the same way we're doing this podcast and we're talking and we're having fun. If you have the ability, even if it's just with your phone and it's just with the voice recorder, that audio you heard is me and my daughter do a podcast called Raising a Ninja. It's actually the most downloaded and subscribed thing that I've ever made in my life. People love hearing us talk.
But then I got nervous because, there's Karens out there and I didn't want people judging the way I parent and I didn't want people judging her. But that was her when she was like 10 years old. So I've got like 20 or 30 episodes that I just stopped posting, even though it was the most popular thing, but she liked doing it. And it's nice to have those recordings to go back and listen to. So in the spirit of love and loving the team and loving family, throw your quarter on there, take your kids over to go talk to your grandparents or your uncles and ask them what it was like when they grew up, like what their first job was, what was going on with them. Ask your kid what they love about school, like, and just capture that moment in time. And even if you don't have video, if you don't have expensive camera equipment, you got a phone, spend more time with your family is what the frick I'm saying, because moments like last night, they are amazing. And the Eagles give us so much joy. Sports gives us so much joy. But I tell you what, I cry every time I think about or I listen to that stupid video that I made. And I might cry 2 or 3 times about the Eagles, but I mean, I cry every time thinking about my family. So I'm just reminding you, take care of your family, take care of your peoples, and do something useful, Fit Dad. That's what I'm saying.
That's awesome, man. That's dope. I like the music. I like the beginning of it too. The Samson had his hair. But
because I ain't got no hair, Fit Dad. People think it's a joke. You know what I mean? They think I'm out here messing with you because you and Harry in shape, and Harry got on his hair. I ain't got it, brother. You know what I mean? My only shape is the circle joke. I'm round. You know what I mean? So
that was awesome, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, because you have kids, and a Fit Dad just isn't your name. You know what I mean? I see you with the kids, and the way you protect them in your content, and the way you treat your family, the way they look at you, because we can be very embarrassing as dads, especially when we're out here in the public eye. But I see the way that they look at you and they accept you, and I know that they know that you have their best interests at heart, because that's how my kid looks at me. My kid knows my dad's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's my dad. You know what I mean? But when you do it with no malice in your heart, and you want to protect them when you're supposed to, those kids know it, dude. So again, for all the people listening, just make sure you go out there and do those little things with the family too, while we're out here spending all this time watching sports and yelling at TV screens. You can find Fit Dad. He's on the internet. You know he is. He's in the comments. He's got his link tree. You might want to go buy yourself a t-shirt or something cool. He's got fun swag out there. So that way you could go pretend to be a Fit Dad for Halloween. He doesn't really have triple X's, so I couldn't get nothing, but I'm just saying that's just me. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm just trying to say I'm not in Fit Dad material shape, but I'm trying to, maybe I can get a custom one. You know what I'm saying? If you hook your boy up with a custom, like a 3-4X, I mean, I'll rock it out.
I got you.
I'll be fitter dad or less fitter dad. We'll figure it out. We gonna get it together. Eagles won the Super Bowl, Dave.
Yeah, they did.
They won the Super Bowl, and the same way you were talking about, you were in shock. I just can't believe that the whole world got to see what we saw, because I almost feel like we watched it like as our own little group. When you watched it, have you ever? Oh, so that's the last thing I asked you. Have you ever watched Super Bowl that you can remember where it sounded like it was a home game for one team?
Okay, so I was gonna talk about that at the beginning. That had to be a 70 to 75% Eagles crowd, and it wasn't just because they were getting beat so bad. Even when I forget what it was. Oh, it was when Bradley Cooper came out in the very beginning. When he got done screaming EAGLES Eagle, and that crowd went off, I was like, is there majority Eagles fans in there? And they kept saying that on the broadcast beforehand too. They were like, I see almost a majority green in this city right now. So they were like, this is like a home game to them.
So we, you're like me, we're consuming media. When you're watching the media day, when I listened to the guys on the Radio Row, it was just like, they kept talking like, man, it's like 70, 80% Eagles. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking like, well, maybe Elliott's just talking like that because, you know what I mean? It's Elliott, and he's bad with numbers anyway. His whole percentages are always off. I can't trust him. Then I heard Hugh saying it, and I'm like, well, Hugh ain't really about that hyperbole, but he can't do math either. Then you just start watching all of the tweets and stuff like that, and I'm like, man, because it's such a stark. You could see the red,
yes, yeah,
versus the green, and there wasn't even like there was white to where you could figure like, oh, I don't know if that's. It was literally green and red.
Yeah.
And so it was so much green going on that it was crazy. Like when I played the clip earlier of Taylor Swift getting booed, that's why she looked around like, yo, what is going on in here? Because she had been to three or two Super Bowls, and she had never had to deal with that.
Nope.
Even in our first one,
because again, at that point, Chiefs are more hungry and they travel better. But New Orleans also has a problem where they don't have the place for you to stay. You can get the ticket to the game. The price kept dropping down, but there's not enough hotels and places for you to stay when you get down there. They can't handle that bandwidth. So I feel like that deterred a lot of people from going. But Eagles fans were just going there in the street. I had 4 friends that were just going to be there. The tickets got down to $2,000 and they bought tickets and they got in the door. So let me just.
I mean, I saw Eagles fans leaving the day of that morning. I think it was Ross Tucker was heading down there that morning with his daughter. He tweeted something out, and I was like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
There it is.
Your 2024 NFC champions, the
Bro, like look there. I mean, just that alone, that front railing right there.
Yeah, that's Santa. That's our Santa. That's our Santa that goes to all the games.
That's wild.
That's a Penn State jersey. That's for Saquon.
Mm-hmm.
One Chief, Penn State, green, and red. So 2 Chiefs together. But I mean, my goodness, it was electric. And every time we scored, you heard the fight song, "Fly Eagles Fly." You could hear him singing it. And when Coop got the interception, you heard Coop. Man,
yes,
that was. They say Eagles travel or whatever. They showed up and they showed out. And for a Super Bowl, that was incredible, bro. That was, like I said, it felt like it was just for us.
Well, it was great because there were a couple times in the last couple of seasons where we let other fan bases invade our stadium. And I was so proud to watch that game and listen to those cheers and applause and Coop and all, even at the beginning of the game, and just know like that made up for all of those instances. And it was almost like we learned from it. So like just from top to bottom, this Super Bowl was something that I don't think anyone's ever going to forget, because when's the last dominant game that's been played like that and at the highest level? I don't even remember the last Super Bowl that was that unbalanced.
No. And again, in a different way, like when I think it was the one where Peyton Manning got there was a Seahawks game. It was like 43-8 or something like that. But again, it didn't look like that. It happened. It came on late, and it was just a weird game. This one's just pure dominance. And
I did see that. Fred just said this Super Bowl was the most viewed ever. I got that notification while we were on here, and it's 126 million people viewed that Super Bowl last night. That in itself speaks volumes right there, because people were watching it. For one, they wanted to see if they were going to get the 3-peat, but they also were watching it because they wanted to see if this Eagles team was legit, and they all got to watch. 126 million people got to watch this team do its thing, and you cannot lie and you cannot deny that we are fly. So I don't care what anyone says about anything going forward. This team is the team to beat. I don't care about no Vegas odds. I don't care about nothing that anybody has to say, because guess what? You can't say nothing to me over the next season at least. I'm going to be talking all that talk.
Talking like crazy.
All of it.
Crazy. And last night, you got a 2-for-1. You saw 2 dead bodies. Say, Drake, I hear you like I'm young. I mean, the whole world sang A minor too, bro. The Chiefs got murdered and Drake got murdered in front of the globe, in front of the entire globe. With that, again, the links for Dave, FitdadCEO will be in the comments. And we're back tomorrow night at, I think, either 8 or 9 o'clock. Jason and Harry will both be here. I might give Fit Dad the night off. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But man, just a great George W. Go Birds!
Go Birds!
And I'll be back at it tomorrow. We'll see y'all then.